Hello and welcome to the program from the State Assemblies. This is where we review legislative activities across state houses of assembly. On this episode, Ondo State Government unveils 655.23 billion budget of recovery for 2025 fiscal year. Ogun State 2025 budget passes second reading. Lawmakers engage stakeholders for economic growth. As Borno Assembly pledges swift passage of 584 billion 2025 budget for states development. Details of this and more stories will be coming your way shortly. I am your host, Amina Said. Thank you for staying with us. In the week under review, Ondo State Government has proposed a budget of 655.23 billion naira for the 2025 fiscal year. Tagged Budget of Recovery, the proposal was presented by Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa at the House of Assembly, where he expressed the state's commitment to implementing people-oriented projects throughout 2025. Paul Omukago reports.
Ondo State Government has proposed a total capital expenditure of 406.3 billion naira for the 2025 fiscal year, addressing the state's significant infrastructure deficit in key sectors such as roads, education, health, agriculture, and electricity. In contrast, the recurrent expenditure is set at 248.9 billion naira, with salaries and wages estimated to cost 102.7 billion naira, accounting for over 15% of the recurrent budget, while it allocates 22.03 billion naira or 3.4% for debt servicing. Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa, while presenting the proposed budget, emphasized that the policy thrust of the budget is to ensure food security, boost infrastructure investment, diversify the economy, and improve health, education, and productivity through strategic resource management.
Objectives and policy focus of 2025 budget. We will encourage all revenue-generating MDAs to introduce full automation of all forms of revenue collection, resilient community development initiative, facilitate social inclusion and social security.
Speaker of the House assured the governor that the proposed budget would undergo in-depth analysis and appraisal with the aim of passing the appropriation bill promptly to support development across the 18 local government areas of the state. The budget proposal follows Nigeria Governors Forum revenue projection template for 2025 based on macroeconomic assumptions that include a crude oil price of $75 per barrel and an exchange rate of 1,500 naira to $1, an inflation rate of 27%.
The Ogun State 2025 Appropriation Bill presented to the State House of Assembly by Governor Dapo Abiodun has killed second reading on the floor of the Assembly. The lawmakers also engaged key stakeholders in dissecting various components of the budget preparatory to its passage for the advancement of the state economy and benefit of the people of the state. Parliamentary correspondent Yemi Dalemo reports on this and other engagements of the lawmakers.
Leading the debates on the second reading of the bill, Chairman House Committee on Appropriation, Musefiu Lamidi, and other lawmakers commended the over 69% performance of the 2024 Appropriation Act as of September 2024 and noted that the 2025 budget allocated more funds for capital projects which will help advance development in all spheres of the state economy and advocates more infrastructural development in their various constituencies.
Last year, the total budget was 703 billion. For capital alone, this year, we are budgeting very close to the total budget of last year, which is about 600 and something billion. Therefore, what we are going to be having this time is going to go a long way in improving the quality of life of our citizens.
Mr. Speaker, I also want to commend the state government in prioritizing capital expenditure Today, we have 56.9%, almost 60% of our expenditure on capital projects.
When they want to implement any of the budget, the ones that belong to our constituency, is something that they need to notify us about to know that we're doing road in Ijebu. You need to tell, we are the people that they voted for, so we should know what they're doing in our constituency.
Chairman committed to the Committee on Finance and Appropriation for further legislative actions.
The House adopted a resolution calling on the Federal Ministry of Works to reconstruct the Ebute-Igboro, Oja-Odon, Pobe Road connecting Nigeria and the Republic of Benin due to its importance to regional diplomacy and socio-economic development of the region. In another development, a retreat to dissect the various components of the 2025 budget was declared open by the Speaker, Oludaisi Elemide, while the lawmakers engaged the Chief Economic Advisor and Commissioner for Finance in Ogun State, Dapo Okubadejo, who was represented by his budget and planning counterpart, Olaolu Olabamitan.
We will be requesting for sectoral performance. So if 20 naira is allocated for capital for education and 2 naira or 18 naira is spent, we want to see.
Stakeholders posited that the budget will not put increased taxation on the citizens, as the state promised to continue to give priorities to the economic enablers that would finance the budget to meet the yearnings of the people.
Elsewhere, Speaker Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly Udeme Otong has reaffirmed the commitment of the 8th Assembly to the expectations of Akwa Ibom people as it concerns their welfare. Assembly correspondent Nsikak Okun reports that the Speaker made the declaration during a budget briefing and public hearing on the 2025 Appropriations Bill.
The bill, which has passed through first and second readings and was committed to House Committee on Appropriations and Finance for further legislative actions, according to the Speaker Udeme Otong, shows how committed the 8th Assembly is to treat all matters quickly, especially as it concerns the welfare of Akwa Ibom people.
The 2025 budget estimate is increasing budget of consolidation and expansion. This clearly indicates that the governor unwavering commitment on the progress note of the Arise agenda.
The aim of the public hearing, as explained by the chairman of the Committee on Appropriation and Finance and member representing Oran State constituency to Retum, is to provide avenue for valuable input on the proposals from stakeholders.
Today's public hearing and briefing on the state 2025 budget proposals shall afford the executive have the opportunity to present its scorecards to the people and brief them on the journey so far on their final project. Also, at this forum, feedbacks from the people on performance indices and the way forward for our budget process will be received.
Commissioner for Finance Nsikan Nkang and other stakeholders say the budget is aimed at consolidating on the gains of previous and current administrations for expansion, growth, and development of the state.
1.9 billion has been allocated to personnel cost in 2025. This represents an increase of 10.6 billion or 11.65% less than the 2024 revised provision of 91.3 billion. The increase is to provide for the salary increments and implementation of the minimum wage and staff promotions.
So the 2025 budget as initiated by His Excellency, the Governor, include A. Achievement of food security through investing heavily in the agricultural revolution. B. Rural development through robust investment in the modern living facilities, such as all-season roads, rural electrification, primary health facilities, schools, markets, recreational facilities, and so on.
We've had it, 31 local government, in one industry, in local government, in 31 local government, it didn't come out to fruition. We are also aware that the immediate past government has some very good, wonderful companies. I can't say the state of them. All of us know the state of those companies. I think it's important that we engage those companies to start working to get our youth from the street.
Meanwhile, ministry, departments and agencies of governments have commenced 2025 budget defense.
And in line with constitutional provisions, all 44 local government councils across the state graced the Kano State House of Assembly to hold bilateral discussions with their respective committees on the proposed budget estimates for the incoming fiscal year. Samira Hamisushira has more.
December is usually a busy period for the lawmakers at the Kano Assembly, scrutinizing the appropriation bills for both the state and local government before the end of the financial year to enable the implementation of the appropriation law on the first day of the new year. This year is not exceptional, as members of the local government councils brainstorm the premises of the Kano Assembly. Most of them have education, health and infrastructural development as their priorities. It is expected that the bilateral discussions will be concluded by the end of the day, and the Committee on Local Government is expected to present its report before the House. The total estimates for all the local government councils stands at over 460 billion naira.
You are watching the program from the State Assemblies, a program that reviews legislative activities in the state houses of assembly across the nation. We now take a break. When we return, Lafia Assembly condemns illegal activities of minors as Kano State House of Assembly recalls Urban Beautification Agency law. Stay with us.
Are you looking for a short channel to make your business, goods and services go viral? Look no further, as NTA Parliament is your short channel. Take advantage of our wider reach and advertise your products and services on NTA Parliament DSTV channel 370, GoTV channel 126, StarTimes channel 306, and Free TV channel 706. For more inquiries, contact the Marketing Department, NTA Parliament, NTA Headquarters Area 11 Garki Abuja, or call these numbers 080-383-40464 or 080-770-78055. NTA Parliament, strengthening Nigeria's democracy.
Welcome back. The Borno State House of Assembly has given assurance of the accelerated passage of the 2025 appropriation bill. This commitment underscores a shared vision and collective responsibility to advance the state's welfare, development and good governance. The Speaker of the Assembly, Abdul Karim Lawan, gave the assurance during the presentation of the 2025 appropriation bill totaling over 584 billion by Governor Babagana Umaru Zulum. House of Assembly correspondent Kaigama Mustafa tells us more.
The 2025 appropriation bill, tagged Budget of Recovery and Continuity, has garnered significant support from stakeholders, political parties, supporters and individuals from various sectors. Speaker Abdul Karim Lawan highlighted that the legislature has enacted 12 impactful laws aimed at addressing key areas such as the economy, healthcare, education, security, and infrastructure, among others. The Assembly has also conducted extensive oversight functions, including evaluation of Borno State University Teaching Hospital, the Ministry of Justice, and other agencies. Additionally, stakeholders' engagement, confirmations of appointments, and training programs for members and legislative staff were conducted both locally and internationally in Sydney, Singapore, and the United States. The Speaker commended Governor Zulum's effort in resettling victims of Boko Haram insurgency and farmer-herder clashes, providing reliefs to flood disaster victims, and funding 10 out of 28 constituency projects initiated by the legislature.
The Borno State House of Assembly, being the apex institution of making laws in the state, the significant move in fulfilling its legislative mandate during the 2024 legislative session. A total of 12 laws were passed addressing key areas such as economic growth, healthcare, education, security, and infrastructure development. He also emphasized the importance of the cordial working relationship between the executive and legislative arms of government in fostering good governance. The Speaker appealed for increased security personnel in his hometown, Guzamala. Governor Babagana Umar Zulum, while presenting the budget, assured alignment with the state's 25-year development plan and 10-year strategic framework focusing on healthcare, security and stability, agriculture and food security, economic recovery, as well as infrastructural development.
I lay before you the proposed 2025 budget of recovery and prosperity to be critically examined in the light of our policy direction. The substance of this budget depends on your speedy issue of passing, and therefore solicit for your usual cooperation support and understanding to make our dear friend.
He also announced plans to review priority projects from the 2020 budget to date. The budget allocates 380 billion naira for capital expenditure, represents 65%, and 203 billion naira for recurrent expenditure, representing 35% of the total budget, respectively. The Ministry of Health and Human Services received the highest allocation of 89.9 billion naira, while the Ministry of Justice received the least allocation of 3.1 billion naira.
Meanwhile, the Nasarawa State House of Assembly has condemned the activities of miners in our local government area for failing to fulfill their community development agreement in line with the Executive Order 2 on mining administration in the state. Adams Abdul-Qadir reports that the 2025 budget also passed second reading during the session.
The Nasarawa State House of Assembly convened on emergency meeting to address critical state matters ranging from the 2025 budget of economic growth, which successfully passed its second reading. The majority leader of the House emphasized the importance of the budget in fostering sustainable development and urged all stakeholders to prioritize its implementation.
The critical sectors like education, health, agriculture have been given huge amounts of allocation. And I know when the time comes for implementation of this budget, I know a lot of things, a lot of positive things are going to come to the states.
Commencing from 1st January 2025 and ending 31st December 2025, second reading and pass. This bill is committed to House Standing Committee on Finance and Appropriation. You have to work both day and night to see that this bill, you bring the report on time.
Under the matter of public importance, moved by a member representing Kana State constituency, who also doubles as chairman of the House Committee on Environment, Adamu Omadefu expressed dissatisfaction with Commissioner for Environment, Kwanta Yakubu, over his disobedience to directives from the House.
There wasn't any response until after the expiration of the date that was slated for them to appear. He started making calls, and I felt there was no need for me to attend to any call. It was an official engagement. We should deal with ourselves officially.
Everybody that failed to appear with that cogent reason must appear before the whole of us. If we cannot take an action to prevent this type of illegal thing that is happening between the ministry and most of the miner and most of the department and agencies that is happening in this state, tomorrow God will never forgive us.
Speaker Jato reiterated that no individual, including Governor Abdullahi Sule, is above the law.
And for a commissioner to refuse to appear before a committee by invitation is an abuse on this honorable house. Not just me as a speaker, it's as the entire house. And we cannot take it. We must appear before this honorable chamber by Monday.
The Assembly also deliberated on the ongoing industrial action by labor unions, appealing to the unions to suspend the strike and consider dialogue in the interest of all. Meanwhile, the Speaker had earlier read an executive letter seeking screening and confirmation of the nominee for the position of Director General of the Nasarawa State Waste Management Agency, Muhammad Bello.
Moving on, Kano State House of Assembly has passed a resolution to recall the Kano State Urban Beautification and Landscaping Agency Bill 2024. This came sequel to a matter of urgent public importance moved by Representative Kabiru Dahiru Sule of Tarauni constituency. Again, Samira Hamisu reports on this and other engagements of the lawmakers.
The law, according to Kabiru Dahiru, if amended, will enable the state tap the full potentials of urban beautification and improve the state's internally generated revenue. It is expected that proper legislative process and procedure will take effect on the proposed amendment. While Representative Murtala Muhammad Kadagi of Garku has sponsored a motion for the construction of a road from Corner Sarina to Sarina and Corner Sani to Sani by the state government, which was adopted. In another development, the House has created new standing committees to supervise the 4 newly created ministries in the state, namely Humanitarian Affairs, Power and Renewable Energy, Solid Minerals and Internal Security. Earlier, the House has condoled the lawmaker representing Kiru constituency Usman Tasu Abubakar over the demise of his mother and families of Dr. Muhammad Saba, the International Institute for Tropical Agriculture, over his demise. Prayers were offered for the repose of their souls and their families the fortitude to bear the irreparable loss. From the Kano State House of Assembly.
And this is where we call it a day on this week's episode of the program from the State Assemblies. Remember, you can still watch this episode, news and other programs on our social media handles showing on your screen. Thank you for watching. I remain your host, Amina Saidu.